Who's one sneaky Seattle Mariner that nobody's talking about? Find out more in today's video. First off, I'd like to start by saying Happy New Year to everyone. We're finally back in a normal location to start filming. I was away on a pretty long trip for 2 weeks, so I was in a weird filming location. That's why you saw some interesting spots in the past 2 videos. But I wanted to start off the new year with a very interesting video topic. And this is discussing one sneaky piece that the Seattle Mariners have that really nobody's talking about. And I kind of want to get something clear when I say this. I'm not saying that this player should be an everyday player by any means, but there's a specific stat that stood out from last year that I think could really help the Mariners coming into 2024, and I believe this player could be a huge help in getting the Mariners better at that. So the stat that I'm referring to is the Seattle Mariners record in one-run games. In 2022, the Seattle Mariners were 36-24 in one-run games while also having 13 walk-offs. While in 2023, they were 29-31 with only 4 walk-offs. So when I posted this on Twitter, there was a lot of you that said this would just change year by year, kind of just automatically. This number technically doesn't really have a consistent theme to it. And while I do agree with this, I think every year is kind of just going to fluctuate based on the season they're having. I do believe there are certain numbers and certain players that can help this statistic go up. And last year, there was tons of situations where the Mariners had a chance to win close games. Whether it was with bases loaded or no matter the situation, they had a lot of chances to win those one-run games, and not a lot of players came up super clutch for us. That's just one of those obvious things that has a huge impact on whether that record goes up or down. But to me, the one player that can really help improve this stat is Jose Caballero. Now, before you jump down my throat and just kind of say this is a stupid call, hear me out for a second. As you know, Jose Caballero was kind of just a platoon guy last year. He didn't really show anything that was kind of wow factor. Except the one thing that stood out to me that was really big was his stolen base ability. So again, I'm not sitting here saying Jose Caballero should be playing every single day, if even playing half of the games this year. The brains and the speed that he offers on the base paths is really fascinating to me. Last year, Cabby had 26 stolen bases and was only caught stealing 3 times. And there was one specific game that really stood out to me, and I'm going to play it on the screen and kind of explain what was going on. And this was in a game versus the San Francisco Giants last year. So in this series of events, Cabby stole a base, he avoided 2 pickoffs, he stole another base, he drew a throw to save an out, and then he scored on a sac fly. And as a pinch runner, there really truly isn't anything else you can do besides all of that. And there are going to be tons of future situations where, Mitch Garver or Ty France or someone's going to come up in the bottom of the 9th and have a single. And obviously, we don't really want these guys on the base pass because even if we bunt them over to second, the odds of them scoring on a single are much lower than a guy like Cabby on second base. It's truly just Cabby's ability to create havoc on the base paths. He's smart, he knows how to get in pitchers' heads. I'm sure we've all seen the clip of him and Martin Maldonado going at it even when he's in the box. I just think Cabby's very good at getting inside players' heads and making them be much more on their toes than they really want to be. Can't be lackadaisical as a pitcher or a catcher with him on the base paths, and having him pinch run in the bottom of the 9th situations where we need a run can truly just help us out in more ways than people may imagine. And again, speed really isn't something that you can go out and just teach, and same thing with the smartness that he has on the base paths. You can't really teach kind of messing with his timing and getting all up in their head and kind of keeping them off balance. That's something that kind of comes naturally. While yes, there are certain things you can obviously teach about it, for him, you could just tell it comes very naturally to him. And to me, this is kind of just something that allows him to stand out compared to like a Sam Haggerty or a Dylan Moore. And obviously not saying a guy like Sam Haggerty is slow, but with Jose on the base paths, you can really just feel something happening and he can just change the game with his legs. So yes, while this kind of does seem far-fetched to call Jose Caballero out of all people a sneaky player the Mariners have, and while I do personally believe he can kind of earn a platoon spot in the roster over the years if he just improves on his bat, I think that having this be kind of his main role is something the Mariners can take advantage of going into 2024. And like I said, while I can see that these numbers are just going to fluctuate year to year just naturally, I do think that having a guy like Jose Caballero who can just come off the bench and provide that extra run when you really need it and provide that extra base path when all you need is a single can truly make a difference in these one-run games. So while yes, I know you weren't expecting me to say Jose Caballero is kind of a sneaky player the Mariners have and can utilize this next season, I truly do want to know your guys' feedback on what you think of this idea. I'm sure it really isn't something we're all thinking about waiting for another big free agent signing or a big trade. I definitely think it is something interesting to think about, as the Mariners truly did struggle in one-run games last year and definitely did not provide as many walk-offs as the year previous, in which that year we did end up making the playoffs. Having those 7 less wins this past season in one-run games clearly did provide a negative impact on us, because we missed the playoffs by 1 game. Like I said, please let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this idea of kind of having Cabby just come off the bench and be a pinch runner in really big situations. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I hope you guys had a great holiday. We have a lot more content to come into the new year, so I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.